You are the help that we requested. I suppose you will have to do. The dire wolves are the most common threat to the townsfolk here. They lurk in the forests on all sides of us, though most are along the north bank of the river. These aren't the runt dogs you see in Elwyn, or wherever you come from. They are big as a man and twice as vicious. If you wish to assist the people of Darkshire, hunt the dire wolves so our streets can be safer.
Hello, welcome to my kitchen, sir. This is where all the Scarlet Raven Tavern's finest delicacies are made. Ah, just smell the wonderful aroma. Seasoned wolf kebabs are a house favorite. Sure, I can make you some. But first I will need the supplies. Bring me 5 wolf skirt steaks. The dire wolves near the river north of town are good to hunt. I wouldn't stray too far into the woods if I were you. I will let you in on a little secret. Dusky crab cakes are really made from spider meat. I know it's a bit disgusting, but the cakes have a nice, tangy flavor and make great snacks. If you want to try some still, I'm afraid I'm out of meat. I need some lump meat to whip up a few more cakes. Venom web spiders are a good source. They nest to the north, between the foothills and the river. Darkness seems drawn inexorably to Duskwood. Master Carevin's quest is the expulsion of evil and heresy. Through our efforts are the people of Darkshire kept safe. You believe yourself worthy to join us? I once thought as you. Disillusioned by the complacency of the Watch, I joined Master Carevin. If you wish to prove yourself, it will not be through words. Test your skills against the Nightbane Shadow Weaver Worgen in Brightwood Grove. Well, see if you have what it takes to hunt these monsters.
remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is a big project. Let's have some fun.
I'm here because I received a letter from my brother Stalvin, who I haven't seen in years. On arriving here, I was told he was dead. The entire town refuses to offer any further explanation. Any mention of his name is met with terror and suspicion. As if I didn't have enough of that myself, I'm afraid of what will happen if my frustration and anger grows any further. Beg you help me get to the bottom of this. Implore Clerk Daltry for any information he may have on my brother.
Impressive, Dave. It would seem that you are capable enough to handle yourself. Perhaps a more suitable challenge could be found for one of your abilities. It is curious though, the Worgen seem to just appear out of thin air. But then, with all the other strange creatures that have moved across our borders, I suppose it's only one of many concerns. The Worgen infestation stretches further than Brightwood Grove. To the south, on the very edges of Darkshire itself, the rotting orchard is host to even more of the savage beasts. The Worgen there are more cunning, Dave, but just as savage and evil. They conjure foul shadows to tear their enemies apart from a distance. Go to the rotting orchard, and slay the shadow weavers to keep the town safe.
Don't go thinking that was too easy. Far greater dangers lurk deeper in the woods. At ease, warrior. If you are just passing though, I suggest you stick to the roads and only travel by day. If your business is here in Darkshire, consider lending your abilities to the Night Watch. Our skill is unquestionable, but our numbers are small. I've been told there's signs of activity at Beggar's Haunt. People have reported seeing lights in the tower to the east of town. Few would be bold enough to stay that close to Deadwind Pass. You're the first to report since I've learned about this. Go check it out and make sure whatever's in there is human. I'm afraid you're all I've got to help here, David Ryuma, the level 25 warrior. Stormwind's forces are so taxed by greater evils that they can't spare a single footman to protect Darkshire. It's up to me and the rest of the Night Watch to keep our homes safe. There's more threats here than just wolves, unfortunately. Rotting horrors roam near Blind Mary's Haunt, on the southeast outskirts. If they're not kept in check, they'll be visiting our homes in the night. Deal with the undead and report back to me for your bounty.
Can I help you? You want to know about Stalvin? You're not the first, you know. We get outsiders coming through asking about him every so often. Always outsiders. Everyone who lives here knows better. You're out of luck, anyway. I'm missing half the archives. Feral Worgen broke into the town hall not a few nights ago and tore the place to shreds. The documents you'll want are probably strewn all across Brightwood Grove by now, deep in the woods to the west. Not worth it if you ask me.
See you around.
Greetings.
Were you able to find 5 wolf skirt steaks yet? The skirt steak's the best part. It's not an efficient way to cook, though. Here, have this recipe. It's a little different, but flank meat's easier to come by when you really need a meal. Hail, Sir David. Did you get that lump meat for me? Ah yes. A nice lump you have there. Let me just get this seasoned with my secret spices, no looking. And get him to skittering on a skillet for a while. And, although dusky crab cakes are my specialty and I won't give out the recipe, here's the recipe for a dish that's almost as good.
The Alliance.
Welcome, stranger. I'd offer you something, but there's not much here. Could I bid you to run some errands for a poor old hermit? Oh, what is a poor old man to do? I need some supplies from Darkshire. But the village is so far away, and I'm so old and feeble, I would never make the trip. Can you go to Darkshire and bring me back some ghost hair thread? You can get it from Madame Ava at her home on the Darkshire Square.
My youngish friend, Cog, has promised to help me build a device which will let me peer towards the stars. According to Cog's blueprint, what I need first is a way to reflect light. I remember a woman by the name of Mari who became well known around these parts for always carrying a looking glass. Perhaps you can track Mari down and see if she might lend us a reflective surface for this project. I believe she once resided in southern Duskwood.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is a big project. Let's have some fun.
Ghost hair thread is what you need, is it? I'm afraid I have none in stock, but I can make some for you, if you can supply the ghost hair. There's a poor, sad spirit, Blind Mary, who haunts an old farmhouse in the hills south of Darkshire. Here, take this spectral comb and ask Blind Mary to comb her hair. Then bring back the comb, and I will glean from it the ghost hair I'll need for the thread. And take care, for dark things now lurk near that house.
To the Honorable Headmaster Krillian, my former master, I write to you so that you might know what your apprentice has been doing of late. Paying heed to your advice, I sought to build my knowledge and wisdom through travel outside the gates of our beloved Stormwind. My journeys took me to many places, but I've decided to take up residence here in the lovely town of Moonbrook. The surrounding fields of Westfall are most beautiful as the harvest approaches. Within just a few days of my visit, I found myself tutoring the local children from the nearby farmlands. The lessons went so well that the town mayor commissioned me to run a school, and construction has begun on a brand new schoolhouse. From Silverpine to Stormwind and now Moonbrook. Who would have guessed I would see so much of Azeroth? Warm regards, Stalvin Mistmantle. Dear noble sir, word of your need for a tutor for your children has traveled to me here in Goldshire, where I take up temporary residence in the Lion's Pride Inn. Due to the unfortunate state of events in the region, I was forced to abandon my post as headmaster of the Moonbrook Schoolhouse. Please accept my application to serve as tutor for your offspring. Headmaster Krillian of the Academy can speak to you of my abilities, if necessary. I shall travel to meet you in person when the winter rains subside and the roads are suitable for travel once again. Until then, Stalvin Mistmantle of Silverpine.
Look, sir, I really don't want any trouble. By the light, you actually went and got it? I'm shocked. I suppose I owe you thanks for returning it to the archives. If you're that serious about this, I'll help you, Ryuma. I know where the other documents must be. I'm just too terrified to do anything about it. There's only a few places that those horrible Nightbane beasts gather when they are not prowling the forest. One of them's the rotting orchard to the south. They use the buildings there as their dens, so if they haven't just eaten the other documents, you might find one there, but you'll have to search their lairs thoroughly, I wager.
Safe travel.
The memory of my beauty makes it less unbearable. Oh, please, don't look at me. I tried this with my own hands, but I can still feel your gaze. I'm hideous. Hideous. Please, look away. What is this? A comb. It's lovely. And it glides through my hair as if it were the stiff, stringy hard that it is. Oh, if only I had a mirror. No. Take it. Take this comb away from me. I'm a monster. And no one will ever think me lovely again. Why yes, I used to own a looking glass. The looking glass was one of my finest treasures until the incident. After that happened, I discarded it behind the barn. There was an insane girl who used to roam back there. Patsy picked it up. Rumor has it the devilish beast resides in the tranquil garden cemetery.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is a big project. Let's have some fun.
Giles, the boy, seems a bit rambunctious, and will be a challenge to educate. However, the elder daughter, Tilla, seems exceptionally smart. I couldn't help but to notice her captivating beauty as well. She is on the cusp of womanhood now. Supposedly the Lord has arranged her marriage for next year. But I digress. This week, I will accompany the family to their summer cottage near the East Vale logging camp in Elwyn, close to the Red Ridge Mountains. I hope to write more while there. Most strange and uncontrollable feeling. Never have I felt the way I did today. Whilst assisting Giles with his history lesson, Tiloa was outside tending to the flower garden. After a few minutes, she came inside and placed a scarlet begonia in my open palm and smiled at me in such a way that my heart felt as though it was trembling within my chest.
Splendid, Dave. For your service to the people of Darkshire you shall be rewarded. There's even fouler undead left to deal with, Mr. Ryuma. Tranquil Garden Cemetery, further south of town, is a place you don't want to be caught in at night. The bones that rise from the ground there are cunning enough to remember how to swing an axe or cast a spell. I shouldn't need to explain how dangerous that makes them. Proceed with caution, but remember the people of Darkshire that will suffer if you falter.
You're back in one piece, I see. This is all you found? That's bad news, I'm afraid. This isn't all of it.
Our cause falls on deaf ears beyond the thick stone walls of Stormwind.
You should let it go, Dave Ryuma. Congratulations for just dinging. The only place left to look is Roland's Doom. That's the mine south of town, and the largest lair of Wirgin in Duskwood. Nobody in Darkshire has ever made it back from that place alive. In fact, some of the records I have here imply that's where the monsters first came from. Who knows what evil's lurking in there? Please, David Ryuma, now just give it up. Let's just forget about this whole thing, and never speak of it again.
You performed well against the Shadow Weavers, David. But even now, years after their first arrival, there seem to be so many to replace the ones we kill. I will put my faith in Master Carevin. No doubt he will get to the bottom of the problem. Your previous accomplishments have convinced me that you are ready to take on the toughest worgen infesting the woods. Of the worgen that have made their new home here, the vile fangs and the tainted ones have proven the most dangerous. They've settled down near some of the caves and in the mine to the south. From far away you can even see the light from their bonfires.
I sense that you have seen Blind Mary. You have my comb. I can make a spool of ghost hair thread with this and have a few strands to spare. Here are some coins for those extra strands. Here's your thread, Reuma. It has 1,000 uses, from binding evil spirits to sewing life into inanimate objects.
I showed God the beginnings of our star viewing machine. He was impressed. Did you append to find a reflective device? Most superb. This will work perfectly. Many thanks. Now there is just one more item needed to complete this device. Cog's blueprint calls for a lens of some sort. The only lens I know that won't be large enough will be very difficult to acquire. There is an ogre by the name of Sarkvol who resides in the mound in southern Duskwood. If you can, bring to me his monocle and I will use that as our lens.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is a big project. Let's have some fun.
I need to string the ghost hair thread along my door and my winds to keep out unwanted spirits. Did you get it for me? Delightful. This will do splendidly. Here, good David. Take this as payment for your honorable deed. I need a bottle of a certain liquor. Zombie juice. Tavern Keep Smith's at the Scarlet Raven Tavern in Darkshire should have some. And please hurry, Dave the Warrior. These nights get cold, and I need that drink to put fire in my veins again.
You need some of the zombie juice, do you? That's some strong stuff. I don't usually get requested for it. If you bring me some rotten blossoms, then I can brew you up a batch of zombie juice. Rotten blossoms grow in stranger places. They tend to flourish on deadings, and the food has its fair share of those. I've seen a few of them growing at Tranquil Garden Cemetery lately, checking near the graves, but mind the dead that are walking about near there.
Most certain that she shares the same feelings for me now. She even placed her hand on mine this morning. When she smiles, her eyes light up like glittering diamonds. Unspoken words pass between us. I can feel her in my pounding heart and heated veins, anger and fury, the likes of which I never knew existed. How dare she? As I was instructing Giles in the meaning of numbers, Tiloa appears before me with a suitor, holding hands in public nonetheless. What an uncouth young man. Rather than introduce me properly, Tilloa simply said, "Oh, that's just my tutor, Uncle Stalvin. He's a nice old man." Old. At that word, my cheeks flushed with heat. I am but a few years older, and yet she betrays...
Hello, warrior. Here to lend a hand for the people of Darkshire. There's a huge ogre mountain just down there. Follow there. Hey! The Splinter fist ogres usually keep to themselves, but they've got a bad habit of attacking travelers. Just the other day, I saw one drag off a poor man's forest for food. It was lucky it left him behind. The Night Watch wants to only risk its few members in the defense of more immediate threats, me included. But if you kill some of those ogres for me, I'll pay you for your deed.
Lord Harris has sent me here to collect regents. Our work cannot be delayed. I need large amounts of corpseweed for Master Harris concoctions. It's difficult to obtain, but we can't let our supply dwindle. Corpseweed is tough stuff to tangle with. The plant will get you before you get it if you're not careful, but if you'd like to help out, I'll eagerly pay you for any you gather yourself. You will find plenty of it all over the Orgenstead to the southeast. My kinsmen at Ravenhill are concerned with curing the feral origin in these forests. The condition itself cannot be lifted, but sanity can be restored to those not too far gone. While most here have proven beyond help, we keep an eye out for those that retain vestiges of their minds, attachments to their old lives. I've seen a lone virgin lurking the Origin farmstead, digging in a pile of dirt between the buildings. Could you check out that pie and see if he's left anything?
Like, share, and subscribe. This project is a big one. Keep coming back for more.
Me not feel so good.
Trust you that you'll be president of little tiny teeny wee strongest dropping into the pieces. Me not good at this. I'm spinning. I love doom.
I saw you drop a few from here. Nice work. There's your rewards. I'll have a night watch.
What's your story?
Do you have the corpseweed? I thank you, warrior, and I'm sure the virgin that may be returned to sanity with the potion this will make would thank you too. Sounds like a close call, but he ran off without harming you further. He might be still fighting it. Master Harris must know. Master Harris will want to know of this immediately. Here, take this package of corpseweed down the road to the camp at Ravenhill. Tell him what we saw at the Orgenstead.
Live, Greymane.
This way, my good sir. Welcome to our humble camp. I wouldn't call it pleasant, but it's at least somewhat private. Beg your pardon. Oh, working at the farm. What we need here is not a cure. The transformation cannot be removed once inflicted, but the mind can be restored through alchemy. If enough is left intact, this working you've encountered sounds like he's fighting to stay aware, Dave. We've got to find him again. If he's fled the Jorgenstead, search Rattlestead to the south. He may be lurking in one of the buildings. Inject him with this ampule to tranquilize him. You'll need to be quite close. That was probably episode 47. Subscribe now and be ready for number 48.
The Master Harris requires many regents for his serums. He has me gather them for him. Most of it's not so bad. I mean, the corpse suite is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as the widow venom. Have you seen the widows around here? The hatchlings are the size of a man. Even with a gun, I can't stand to go out hunting them. It's just too terrifying. If you will go do it for me, I will gladly pay you. Just bring me back some widow venom. You will find them all in the woods to the east, just north of the road.
The dead cry for solace. Their anguish echoes on the wind. This is a tragic land, with a history of violence and despair. While many of the dead roam in the flesh, some are simply lost souls wandering in confusion. They deserve to be put at ease. Many of these souls gather at the Edelstead to the south, appearing before travelers. Take the censer of holy incense. Sway it before the forlorn spirits, and let the offering of its gentle scent give them peace.
Let the light of the new moon guide.
Several years ago, Stormwind's Captain Curzon brought a brigade into Stranglethorville, a mission whose details are still murky. Curzon swiftly descended into madness, as did his men, except for a few rebels who made it their mission to undo the evils that Curzon had wrought. As I said, that was years ago. I'm now hearing rumors that Curzon is dead, but those rebels still persist at their rebellion. If you wish to investigate, you'll find them at a camp on Stranglethor's northern border.
Were you able to convince Zarkvald to lend us his monocle for our experiment? At last, the stargazing device is complete. Thank you, Ryuma. Now I can continue my research.
Dave, to be honest with you, I did not believe that you would get this far, but you are clearly a Fury warrior to be reckoned with. In fact, if you wish to formally join Master Carevin's struggle, I will gladly write for you a letter of recommendation. Here you go, Ryuma. Bring this message to Master Carevin. Take this parchment. A few more like you, and we will outnumber the Night Watch. Perhaps then we could complete the work that we few carry on today.
The people of Darkshire thank you, Dave the Fury Warrior. You have proven yourself to be a great ally of the Night Watch.
Be careful.
I told you, Ryuma. It's not worth pursuing. You actually went and got it. I don't know whether to call you brave or insane. But once again, my archives thank you. You've recovered everything. Everything except the last page, which I've got right here. Don't look at me like that. You'll understand when you read it. Some even say it's cursed, you know. In fact, I was relieved when the Virgin broke in and made off with these. Take it. Take all of it, in fact. I thank you for recovering my archives, but I don't want anything to do with this ever again. Please, just leave me be.
Undead are crawling all over the land. Where's the Stormwind army?
Hey Dave, do you have those rotter blossoms for me yet? Good, you got the rotter blossoms. I'll whip up the zombie juice. It's such strong stuff, I want you. Here's your zombie juice, and be careful with this stuff. It's strong enough to raise the dead.
Master Carevin, the bearer of this note, has shown himself to be upstanding in the light, capable of battling the undead and demons that plague the borders of Duskwood, and willing to join the Carevin family in their cause of the light. I would thereby suggest that you give this warrior of the light further duties, perhaps to investigate some of the townsfolk that are under suspicion of succor to the enemies of the light. Yours faithfully, Calor.
Yes, what is it? Make it quick. I've pressing matters to attend to. Excuse me for my cold reception, Ryuma, but as I'm sure you can tell, I am an extremely buzzy man. I see that you have impressed Calor, and I assure you, that is no small feat, and that he has given his recommendation. There are unsavory types of folk, Ryuma, and we can use the help of all who have proven themselves. We battle against demons, the undead, and those who would provide them aid. Be vigilant, be wary, and trust none who would not give aid or cause glory under the light.
Downward spiral of despair. First, she mocks me, and now she is engaged. The ungracious charlatan was pretending to love when truly she desired to hurt me all along. A black void lurks within me now, and it grows with each waking moment. The blood I shall spill pales in comparison to the tears I have shed.
I'm Squidward Tentacles, and I have an Easter Island head for a house. And on my television set is Mushoku Entertainment. I watch it all the time.
You're back. Can you find anything about my brother? I can't thank you enough. I had hoped for this to be Joy's reunion, but the more I learn, the less glad I am to have asked. But I must know. My brother was strong-willed. Let's not fight us.
Due to Tobias' inability to talk coherently, I will decipher his words and read them to you thusly. This can't be. My brother was strong-willed, but such vileness, such sickness and violent, bloody evil. I must have answers. I need to know how I got that letter. I need to know if Stalvin really did this. I need to know why. Take my ring, Dave. Bring it to Madame Eva. That woman is a follower of old arts and makes no secret of it. Call it madness, but I'll try anything at this point.
What dark whispers guide you to my door, swordsman? How interesting. It's been quite a while since I've seen such a ring. I'm afraid I cannot give Tobias the answers he seeks, but I can help you find the only person who can. Stalvin Miss Mantle. Take the ring into the woods to the north to Manor Miss Mantle, where Stalvin's body was buried. Enter, and hold the ring before you. Let the waning moon pour its light through the ring, and the spirits will answer your call. Take heed, David Ryuma, the half-blind warrior. The questions of the living can offer more comfort than the answers of the dead.
My ring? Who holds my family ring?
Brother!
Taloa, is that you? Tobias.
Tell me it's not true, brother! Tell me you didn't tell a murderer!
It's all true, brother. Every word. You doubted
But
it?
why, how could you?
You know why. Surely you felt anger. Anger so foul and vicious that it makes you want to tear someone to shreds. Aren't you feeling it right now?
No, stop it!
You see, brother, we're not so different.
No! Master Harris may have been right. I would have been better to leave the past behind. Got a new life now, whether instead of a monster or man is up to man for you. I cannot thank you enough for your assistance, regardless of the outcome. Please take this with my thanks.
I need that zombie just to keep me warm on these cold, dark nights. Did you get it for me? 1,000 thanks, swordsman. You warm an old man's heart with your force. I mean, with your kindness. Your friend, take this as a token of my gratitude. A few weeks ago I was picking herbs far from my house. and a band of ogres attacked me. I ran, and I was forced to leave behind a crate of precious tools and herbs after they chased me off. The ogre swaggered back to the ogre mound in southern Duskwood. I'm sure my crate is somewhere near the mound. Please, kind sir, retrieve this crate for me, for I miss it sorely.
Welcome to our camp, warrior. You could never have had a better time.
The Worgen stares and hesitates.
You have brought peace to those who knew only misery, Rumal. Be proud.
Did you get it? Please tell me you got it. Oh, thank you, thank you. You've saved me from having to go out in the woods with those awful things, at least for a day, that is. I'm afraid that. Well, I'm just plain afraid, but I'm also sorry to have to ask for another favor. Master Harris needs brains, mere brains. They're part of the serum apparently, or at least a proper substitute. There's plenty of black bears in the woods to the west, and along the riverbank, but I can't do it. I'm too terrified to go out there and face those huge things, even with a rifle. Please, let me pay you to bring back some.
I was searching the internet and found Mushoku Entertainment, and it really is the best around.
You got him! No time to lose! Then, we'll prepare to administer the serum right away, Jitters! Get ready! I'm hopeful, but let's remain professional. It's business as usual for this one. Into the guillotine he goes. And if the alchemy doesn't take, you won't be getting back out of it. Jitters and I will attend to this. Please just stand back and watch from a safe distance. Here we go. It's working. Hold him still, Jitters!
I can't.
Jitters.
Damn it, Jitters, I said hold!
Jitters. I remember now. It's all your fault. You brought the warden to Duskwood to let the Dark Riders to my farm, and while they murdered my family. Every speck of suffering in my life is your pathetic fault. I should kill you.
Letting him go is the only thing that's going to separate you from the beast now, my friend.
You've got a lot to make up for, Jitters. I won't give you the easy way out.
Success! Finally! I can't thank you enough for giving me the chance to work to cure myself. Our new friend may be in need of some help as well. You might want to speak with him.
Before I was lost to the woods, the last thing I remember is Morbid Fell. He was a vile necromancer, and the reason this land swarms with so many vile undead. I asked an adventurer to help me put an end to him. I thought they did, but Sister Elsington tells me the land still crawls with wolves and specters ripped from the grave. Morbid Fell showed a breathe his last in the house on Forlorn Row. north of Ravenhill Cemetery. Go there and see what's become of him.
Can you hear them, David? There's so many of them. They wander their graves, shuffling across the cold ground on rotting limbs. The dead cry out in the still air. They suffer in their own flesh, forced from sleep. Every night I venture to the graveyard to put more of them to rest, but it's never enough. Help me, Ryuma. Put the ghouls that swarm Ravenhill Cemetery out of their misery. Strike down as many as you can.
Did you get them, did you? Thank you, oh, thank you. I never thought I'd be happy to smell those brains, but I am now that I didn't have to get them. Here's your reward as promised.
The weathered grave marker reads simply, Morgan Ladimore. Upon further examination, you notice that dirt over the grave has been recently disturbed, and that a good amount of the dirt seems to have been displaced.
And bloodstains, if it's not tricks. It's something worse. The others here share my suspicion. Morbidfell lives on in Undeath, and may be even more powerful than before. A necromancer was struck down, but the Lich may have risen in his place, and now he continues to ruin this land. I remember Duskwood before all this, Dave. I remember bright skies and peaceful woods. This can't stand. Morbidfell must be stopped for good. Speak to Sister Elsington. Her vision might guide you to where Morbidfell is, and how he can be
when so recently recovered be so concerned with the plight of others. Sven spares himself suffering by not dwelling on his own misfortune. Sven is correct. I can feel the presence of a powerful evil deep beneath the Ravenhill Cemetery. Evil lurks in its catacombs, and Morbidfell must be the source. You will need the power of the light to strike him down, Dave. Sven told me the heroes who first slew Morbidfell wielded an artifact of light-forged iron, imbued with holy power. That artifact is still here. I can feel it as well, a glimmer of light amidst the darkness. Search Ravenhill for it, and let the light guide you through it. The cries grow softer for now. Light bless you, Ryuma.
Keep your chin up, eh?
Hello, Rick Sanchez here. I was just over at Planet Moshoko Entertainment, and guess what? I subscribed.
Morgan Ladimore. Yes, of course. His was a long and sorrowful tale. I knew him well before he left for the war, but that was the last time I saw a noble and good man he was, but he suffered a bad end. Here, I should have something here that could tell the tale better than my own recollections. I found a leather-bound book here. If you would like to know more, you might ask Althea. She's been the one to handle the trouble with him of late.
Morgan Ladimore? Never heard of. Oh, you mean Ladimore? I guess you haven't heard the story. Well, I'll give you the short version. A powerful undead calling itself Ladimore has been wandering Duskwood. From what we've gathered, it appears to be the undead body of Morgan Ladimore, of whom you apparently know. He's been causing us all sorts of problems, attacking watchmen on patrol and killing people. You seem to be capable enough, maybe you could lay him to rest. From what my scouts tell me, Ladimore wanders throughout Duskwood, following a strange and meandering path through the cemetery. We buried him out past the house on the hill. You know where that is? There isn't anything I can do to help you, but I wish you good luck.
Morgan Ladimore was a great and noble knight who fought in defense of the innocent, the poor, and the afflicted. For many years, he worked diligently throughout the outlying areas of Azeroth, bringing relief to the suffering and swift justice to revilers. He was married to a young girl named Liz in the summer of his 18th year. They were much in love with each other and would eventually produce 3 children, a son and 2 daughters. Morgan was 32 when war broke out in Lodaran. Morgan was called to the side of the legendary paladin Uther the Lightbringer to fight against the orcs and the undead. Leaving his wife and children in the safety of his home, Morgan left for war. The years passed and the war dragged on, and Morgan would witness many horrific events, including the disbanding of the Paladins of the Silver Hand, the death of Uther, and the spread of the plague. The only thing that kept him from the brink of madness was the knowledge that he would someday be reunited with his wife and children. Morgan would eventually return to his homeland, but find it nothing like how he remembered it. The once verdant forest was corrupted and teemed with the undead and other dark forces. Destroyed houses and farms could be found everywhere, and the cemetery near Ravenhill now dominated much of the area. A shocked and bewildered Morgan eventually made his way to his home, only to find it in ruins. Not knowing what had befallen his homeland, he headed towards the village to find answers, and, he hoped, his wife and children. Morgan inquired about his family, but could not find any answers. A priest in Darkshire, as it was now called, said that he might search the cemetery at Ravenhill for a gravestone. Morgan refused to believe that his family was dead, and continued to search every farm and house in Duskwood, but to no avail. Morgan rode from Darkshire to nearby Lakeshire, thinking that perhaps his family had fled. On his way there, he decided, against his better judgment, to stop by the Ravenhill Cemetery. Morgan spent hours walking amongst the gravestones. He recognized many names of people that he knew and became more and more distraught. Then he saw them, a small, untended plot amongst the many with 3 small gravestones. A feeling of dread washed over him as he approached. Morgan brushed off the dust of the most prominent gravestone to reveal the name on it. Simply carved upon the grave, letters spelled out his worst fear, Liz Ladimore, beloved wife and mother. Morgan's apprehension turned to dismay and then to grief, and he fell to his knees weeping. For hours he stared at that one grave, begging the cold stone for forgiveness and sobbing apologies. Then, hours later, something in him snapped, and he began to lash out. He brought his sword out of its scabbard and began to rain blows on the gravestones, screaming in rage. Blind in his fury, he lashed out and swung wildly, catching the notice of a trio of the cemetery's attendants. As they tried to restrain him, he turned his focus to them, hurling accusations of guilt upon the innocent attendants, then killed them all. Later, when the rage had passed, realization crept into Morgan's mind, and he saw his bloody sword driven into the chest of one of the attendants. Driven to the brink by his emotions, he removed his belt knife and plunged it into his heart. Morgan Ladimore's body and the 3 bodies of his victims were found the next day. He was quickly buried, without ceremony, in a hastily dug grave on the outskirts of the cemetery. Because Morgan committed murder against innocents, something that went completely against his beliefs and his nature, and because of the grief that he held in being unable to save his family, Morgan could not die a peaceful death, and lived on as one of the restless dead. Only days later, his grave was disturbed, and his body could not be found. The being that was Morgan now wanders Duskwood, consumed by his grief over the loss of his wife and children and his own self-hatred. Morladim, as he now calls himself, roams Duskwood with mindless vengeance and hatred, and has been known to commit murder indiscriminately. I'm tired now, good night.
I'm Spock from Star Trek, so subscribe now to Mushoku Entertainment.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is a big project. Let's have some fun.
Do you have my crate? If so, then please, give it to me quickly. Thank the neck. Well, thank you, Remo. You have more than earned your reward. Oh, happy nights ahead. Out here on the outskirts of town. It's a wonder the walking dead haven't eaten me. In fact, just yesterday a pack of ghouls was pounding on the walls of my tower. I want to make an effigy, a kind of scarecrow for ghouls. To do that I need some ghoul ribs. You can find plenty of them on the fetid corpse wandering manor Miss Mantle's grounds, north of Darkshire. The ribs for me, and I will repay. I'm sure you could find plenty of ribs in Ravenhill as well, but you might not want to wander so far at night. Thanks. These will do just the trick. Take this note to Ello Ebonlocke, the mayor of Darkshire. He and I are old friends. And when he reads it and discovers what you did for me, I'm sure he'll be just as happy as I am.
I'm Anchorite Delan, one of the drummy. I'm a teacher of sorts. And who might you be?
A letter, what's this all about? I paled because of the letter. You fool, you've doomed us all. You're not the first fool to be manipulated by Abercrombie. That doddering old man is known as the embalmer to us. He's a violent chronosaur and a blight upon this town. And now, some together and given life by the very materials you brought him, his horrible creation approaches. A haze creature will be upon us in mere moments. You have any heart, Dev? You will help the night watch drive off the abomination and save our town.
Buried in the cold dirt, you find a brilliant metal shaft. But there are holes where pieces of the artifact are clearly missing. In front of you, the bare earth slopes down towards the dark entrance to the crypts. You can feel the tug of the light-forged artifact urging you towards it. Perhaps the other piece is down there. In the dirt of this alcove, your eye catches the shine of brilliant metal. You've found another piece of the artifact. You attach the arch to the rod, and the artifact is nearly complete. A large gap still sits at the center of the holy symbol's head. Once again you feel it tug your arm, urging you towards the hole in the wall and the winding tunnel ahead. The last piece must be through there. In the darkest depths of this earthen tunnel, you spy the faintest gleam. The last piece is found. The pieces fit, and the holy artifact is restored, gleaming with sacred light. This should let you defeat Morbentfel's dark magic. Further down the tunnel, away from the direction you came from, a heinous cackle rings out. It's the clattering laugh of a lick. Morbentfel is just ahead.
May the disgusting monster stay dead this time. I'll head down there and scatter his remains to ash myself. Wilma, you've done a great thing. Perhaps in time Duskwood can return to its former peaceful state.
I don't blame you if you're having trouble with him, Ryuma. Some of our strongest watchers have been lost to Ladimore. You killed him. That's no small accomplishment, Dave. On behalf of the people of Darkshire and the Night Watch, I thank you. There is one small matter, however. I should have told you this earlier. How do I put this? Morgan may have believed that his family was all dead, but, in fact, his daughter Sarah Ladimore is now a watcher. She's always been troubled by the circumstances surrounding her father's death. Perhaps you could go to bring the news to her.
Yes, my father. I wish there was something I could have done for him. If only I had talked to him before he... Here, take this and lay it on his grave. Maybe, somehow, he'll know that I'm okay, and that none of us hold him responsible for what happened. Take this precious ring, and thank you, Dave.
Leave me be! This is... Sarah? Could it be she's still alive? The weight is removed from my shoulders. Dave, take my sword, Arceus. As my soul is put to rest, I have no more need for it. It was forged to do good, and though I have proved myself unworthy to hold it, perhaps you will carry on the light through it. Lies my love. My sword, Arceus, served me well in life, but as at last my spirit may pass from the unhappy existence, I need it no longer. I shall cling to the love of my daughter and hope that I will find forgiveness under the light for my sins.
I'm Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Subscribe to Mushoki Entertainment.
Welcome, stranger. I'd offer you something, but there's not much here.
Our cause falls on deaf ears beyond the thick stone walls of Stormwind.
Greetings. I'm Anchorite Delan, one of the drummy. I'm a teacher of sorts. And who might you be?
Lord Harris has sent me here to collect regions. Our work cannot be delayed.
The memory of my beauty makes it less memorable.
Darkness seems drawn inexorably to Duskwood. Master Carevin's quest is the expulsion of evil and heresy. Hello, welcome to my kitchen, sir. This is where all the Scarlet Raven Tavern's finest.
You want to know about Stalvin? You're not the first, you know.
You are the help that we requested. I suppose you will have to do.
The Master Harris requires many regents for his serums. He has me gather them for him. Most of it's not so bad.
Yes, what is it? Make it quick. I've pressing matters to attend to.
You're not the first fool to be manipulated by Abercrombie. That doddering old man is known as the embalmer to us.
Ghost hair thread is what you need, is it? I'm afraid I have none in stock, but I can make some for you, if you can supply the ghost hair.
Rare! They smash, woman. I'll crush you!
I shall cling to the love of my daughter and hope that I will find forgiveness under the light for my sins.
Welcome to our humble camp. I wouldn't call it pleasant, but it's at least somewhat private.
Due to Tobias' inability to talk coherently, I will decipher his words and read them to you thusly.
Morgan Ladimore. Yes, of course. His was a long and sorrowful tale. I knew him well before he left for
The dead cry for solace. Their anguish echoes on the wind.
To the Honorable Headmaster Krillian, my former master, I write to you so that you might know what your apprentice has been doing of late.
I remember now. It's all your fault.
If you bring me some rotten blossoms, then I can brew you up a batch of zombie juice. Rotten blossoms grow in strange places.
The next day, he was quickly buried, without ceremony, in a hastily dug grave on the outskirts of the cemetery.
I'm here because I received a letter from my brother Stalvin, who I haven't seen in years. On arriving here, I was told he was dead.
My youngish friend, Cog, has promised to help me build a device which will let me peer towards the stars, according to Cog's blueprint.
Don't worry, here to lend a hand for the people of Darkshire. There's a huge ogre mountain just down there.
Here, take this and lay it on his grave. Maybe, somehow, he'll know that I'm okay.
We not feel so good. We not feel so good. We not feel so good. We not feel so good.
Subscribe to Mushoku Entertainment.